Oh, it just bleached my eyesight. This was a really dumb idea. Okay, not a traditional vlog. Consider this an update to yesterday's vlog because I've can't walk straight. So bright. Actually, you know what? Let's go sit just down here. Oh my god, please tell me that ain't snow. So I burnt most of the day because I knew that at some point I would be going to the hospital again to see my uncle. Anything I've really done today outside of wait for the call to say let's go is play with the M5 MacBook Pro to see how it handles live streaming. So I've gone from the MacBook Air to the M4 Mac Mini to the MacBook Pro. Initial impressions using the hardware encoder, not good. If you want to edit video, it's fine, it's pretty solid. But for live, using the hardware encoder at 1080, 60 frames a second, using OBS, no. No. Which is funny because whilst the hardware encoder can't do it for whatever reason, because it can edit 4K 30 and that in real time, it can't handle 1080 60, and I know the idea between moving how the increase in frame rates can affect render times and all that kind of stuff. I know all this, right? You can actually quite comfortably get away with a 1080 60p stream on CPU, at least you can on the M4. I haven't tried it on the M5 yet, but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to. But yeah, I'll have to play around with that a bit more and give it a go. I was just trying to get through my back catalogue of video games, so I figured I'd stream off of the MacBook just to see how it goes. As I say, not great, dropped quite a lot of frames just from encoding and render and lag in there. I got the call, and today, compared to yesterday when we were called and told that my uncle went into cardiac arrest, it was really good when we saw him today. The family's got involved. We told the family that my uncle's in hospital, we'll have to go and visit him. My uncle Peter said that he wanted to come and visit, but we went to go pick up my uncle Peter. We went to the hospital, and it was really good to just see them talk. Initially, we thought that we weren't all going to be allowed to go on the ward because I think there's a two people on the ward rule. Like, I think it's on the door. I think even like you can only have 2 visitors per bed. But they said no, like we were fine. In fairness, a lot of people were going in more than 2s to a patient. But it was nice to see Uncle Peter and Uncle Weenie talk whilst we were there, because I don't think they've spoken to each other in a year. Turns out Uncle Peter had been trying to get in contact with my Uncle Weenie for a while, but Uncle Weenie's like, you know, you knock on the door, someone doesn't answer, you assume that they're out, they're busy, whatever. Uncle Weenie don't always answer the door. He's got other stuff he's doing, right? So, you know, but it was nice to see him talk, nice to see him natter. He was so much more lively today. He was argumentative. That's great. Like, what? Yeah, he was arguing with the nurses, he was arguing with us. It was great to see. He had a lot more fizz, a lot more colour in him. He was talking more clearly. He still mumbles and grumbles, but you know, that's just how he is. But he was talking more. I just couldn't help it. I couldn't help but smile. Still absolutely terrified, worried for him. But to see him talk was great. Let's head down here, shall we? Try walking again without looking at the light, bleaching my vision, and then falling off the curb. Probably end up finding myself in a hospital bed next to my uncle. He's making steady improvements. He's not out of the woods yet, obviously, but considering, he's doing pretty good. I'm thankful that whilst it's not necessarily what he wants, he knows that they're only doing what's best for him. That they're not going to make him do something that he doesn't want to do just for the sake of it. They're not just going, oh yeah, we can do this, let's do it. Will there be any benefit to him? No, let's do it anyway. They're not doing that, right? The only stuff they're putting on the table, stuff that's good for him, stuff that could help him. And the more he lets them help him, the sooner he can get out of the hospital. Trying though to make him understand the severity of the situation he's in is proving to be a bit awkward. though. As an example, he went into cardiac arrest yesterday because he choked on some food. When they brought him to, in his mind, he just went to sleep. He just kind of went, oh. And then the next thing he knows, there's 8 or 9 doctors and nurses around him, and they're pulling bloods from him and all that kind of stuff. And they've just woke him up from a nice nap. They haven't. They've just brought him back from the dead to the land of the living, because they've had to get whatever was stuck back out of him. He's had a lot of trouble with phlegm and swallowing and all that, and they're worried that there could be damage to the esophagus. So they're like, we can't let you eat solid foods. And he's like, but I'm fine. It's like, but you're not. He's like, but I'm fine. I was just napping. I was just this. I was just that. Like, no, mate. That's not how this works. He said, and they've got to check and test you to be sure. My uncle is a sweetheart when it comes to me, because we come from a big family, very big family. I was a very sickly kid. I was in and out of the hospital a lot as a child, and so if anything happens, the doctors will come by, they'll start talking to him, he'll kind of fix onto something. So in today's case, he wanted a drink. Yesterday he wanted something to eat, or he wanted something to drink. They wouldn't let him have it. He's like, but I want it. They weren't overly pleased with just letting him have it, again, because they were worried about his throat, and they were worried about him choking again, because they said, today when we went in to see him, there is a high likelihood that he will just choke again. He's able to swallow, but he's also bringing things back up, which could then end up on the lungs, which could cause him to choke, which could then put him back into cardiac arrest. He will talk to me like over and over again. He'll be like, yeah, but I want a drink, but I want a drink, but I want a drink, but you can just slip me something, you can just give me a drink. So can't do that, dude. If we give you anything, this could screw up the doctor's tests, it could screw up the results, or choke again. The doctor came round and started to try and explain the whole idea with the throat, why they can't give him stuff. And he's like, but I'm fine, I'm really fine, I'm fine. Trying to convince him that he may be fine, he could make that decision, but it's risky, like, to still eat and drink. They'd rather he didn't. They've got a safer option. Again, he will kind of hyperfixate on this one point. They mentioned him using a feeding tube. I don't know if any of you have had one of those. Goes up the nose, round, down, and then they run it into your stomach. And then they'll connect up whatever it is they want to feed you, your medicines, your drinks. Whole thing will go straight down into the stomach. No need to chew, no need to swallow, no risk of choking, because it just goes directly where it needs to be. Right, they're talking to him about having this line put in, or this tube put in, and he got really kind of fixed on he wants a drink and how's he going to take his tablets. And it's like, no, not tablets. That, like, they got this line that they're going to put up your nose or into your nose is going to, they can put medication through that. Tablets, why would they put tablets through my nose? It's like, we kind of tried to convince him, like, talk him around to it, like, try to explain to him what they're actually planning on doing, what it's for, how it works, because you can't really hear very well either. You can't hear very well on the ward. There's lots of beeps and lots of chatter and all that kind of stuff, so it's kind of hard to get your point across. He asked the doctor, what would you do? And instead of the doctor answering the question, he just kind of reiterated the point that eating's more dangerous than the tube. The tube is less likely to kill you. He didn't really say give a stance, which is understandable. The doctor was swinging towards the tube, and then I said, personally, I'd go for the tube. I've had this kind of stuff done when I was little. I said, it's not that big of a deal. I said, it'll take them 30 seconds, a minute. So they'll come in, they'll take the tube, they'll shove it up your schnoz, that'll feel a bit uncomfortable, it'll hurt a little bit to start with, and then I'll get it in. That'll be a bit uncomfortable for a little while, just a little while, a few minutes, and then you'll forget it's there. And for the next couple of days, you won't even have to worry about it. They'll stop poking you, they'll stop prodding you, because they can get everything into you through the tube. He trusts me because he said, yeah, I'll go for the tube then. And, he trusts me because, again, if young lad me can go through all this, because, again, sickly kid, it's almost like he's thinking, I'm a grown man. If he did it when he was a little boy, I'll do that. And it's like, I won't steer him down a path that wouldn't be good for him. You know, look, the hospital one, the doctors one. You know, because he knows that I'm not being pulled about by doctors. I agree with him a lot of the time. I don't like it. He don't like it. And so if I say, this is probably the option for you, Gav, you can kind of see it ticking over as like, it's probably more just, I'll do it to shut him up kind of thing. At which point, thank you, Uncle Weenie, seriously, mate. Because you're saving my hairline. Before we actually managed to kind of get him to go, yeah, I'll do that. I'm explaining it to him. And he goes, you know, my throat's fine. He's adamant his throat is fine. And I say to him, it's probably for the best anyway that you have this. And I was like, yeah, but I can still eat. It's okay. You know, I just had a little bit of a cough. It's like, yeah, I know. And then my Uncle Peter go, you know what, Weenie? You're right. Throat probably is fine. Said, you're probably all good to go now. He said, but it doesn't hurt for you to have the tube done anyway, because then that way, when they take it out in a couple of days, you'd have been fine that entire time. You can just go back to doing what you were doing before. Just means that you have to wait a little bit. Uncle Peter was a lifesaver today. With just little bits like that, like taking what the doctor says, taking what I'm saying, and then just going, yeah, you're fine, you're doing great, but what about this? Or, yeah, it doesn't have to do that anyway. So, thanks to Uncle Peter as well. the family have really stepped up here. My mum, my Uncle Peter, my Uncle Weenie. Uncle Weenie? Yeah, because he's been stubborn enough to stay alive. And I am incredibly thankful. And the staff at the James Paget, they're sweethearts too. They absolutely adore him. He's a sweetheart. He's a fucking stubborn, cantankerous old git. But he's a lovely bloke. They're doing so great with him. And they're funny, they're friendly, they're incredibly sweet. They've done a great job. Every single member of staff that we've dealt with. It's been absolutely great with him. My light's just turned off. Doesn't mean I don't need it. I don't know if we're still recording. After they put the feeding tube in him, just said to him, you know, you ain't got a lot more to go through because all the labs and that closed over the weekend. But he's like, so what's all this for? So, that's your feeding tube, dude. It's got to stay in there for a couple of days. Couple of days? He's like, yeah, man, we discussed this. Your lassie's just come in because he needs to have an x-ray because they wanted to make sure the tube had gone where it was supposed to go. Instead of wheeling him out for an x-ray, they bought a portable x-ray machine. Fantastic. I didn't even know we had portable x-ray machines, you know. We had to step out of the ward for him to do it. We got to have a look. Said all they were waiting for was for you to have your x-ray, to find out that the line had gone where it was supposed to go. And then once that's done, Lassie will come in, she'll hook you up, and you're good for the whole weekend. So, oh, but they always, I said, no mate, I promise you, I give you my word, shy of like occasional checks to make sure you're still kicking because they like you, they'll let you be. You're not going to feel hungry, you're not going to feel thirsty, you're not got to worry about taking your pills. It's done. You're going to be okay. You're done. And I'm so proud of him. She was like, where's the doctor coming? Like, now they've got the x-ray and they've seen that that's where it is. They'll be here in a few minutes. They can't go. I said, no, you just fucking be good, alright? They're doing what's best for you and you know it. So I'm proud of you. Because you don't like it. I know you don't like any of this. I know you don't want to be here. But it's the best place for you. They're going to get you back on your feet. I promise. And that's when we had to head out. But he's so good. As I say, Uncle Peter was a lifesaver at parts today. You know, yeah, I'm struggling to keep my head together, keep my thoughts on track. You know, I think I know what I'm going to say when I pick up the camera. If you haven't guessed, this is everything I do is ad-libbed, all of it. It's off the top of my head. But I'm trying to keep track of what I want to say, what I'm doing, and all of the things that we've been told by doctors and things and other appointments that we've got to make. It's not a bit much, it's not much. I just want to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. I don't want to let anyone down. I just want to see him get back. Remember, even though we don't like chocolate milkshakes, you all have to go and have a chocolate milkshake for him, yeah? I think we might be going to see him again tomorrow, but I'm not sure. I can't take the camera on the ward, so you know, I don't want him to feel like he's a shame. I'll run this one by the family. So I don't want anyone to think I'm taking the piss. He looked so much better today. You know, he was just the fact he was talking to us and arguing with us. It was great. It was so good. I'm gonna head off. I only come out so I can do my walk, and I've got my noise cancelling in because it was a bit at the hospital. Lots of noises, lots of talking, lots of overhearing conversations and stuff that you don't really want to, you know. Again, thank you to the staff of the James Paget. You're doing a great job. Uncle Weenie, you're doing great too. Keep going. And I'll see you all with a bit of luck in the next one.